Welcome to the news tonight here on Rajya Sabha TV. Start of the week. There's lots that's making news. I'm Tracy Shilshi. I'll be getting you all those details in a bit. But first, let's start with the headlines. India and Myanmar signed 4 MOUs as Prime Minister Narendra Modi underscores the need for both countries to actively cooperate to combat terror and insurgent activities. Baloch and Sindhi groups hold anti-China protests in London over the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor in Balochistan. Protesters accuse Pakistan of committing gross human rights violations in the region. Facing criticism over his advisory to foreign women tourists to not wear short skirts, Tourism Minister Mahesh Sharma finally issues a clarification, says he meant it only for religious places. But its celebration of women power in sports, Olympic stars PV Sindhu, Sakshi Malik and Deepa Karmakar received the Rajiv Gandhi Khel Ratna Award along with shooter Jeetu Rai at a glittering ceremony at Rashtrapati Bhavan. Prime Minister Narendra Modi held extensive talks with Myanmar President U Tin Shaw in New Delhi today. The two sides signed 4 MOUs besides agreeing to step up cooperation in combating insurgency in the region. India also extended support to the new Myanmarese government in ushering all-round growth and development in the country.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi held wide-ranging talks with Myanmar President Tin Shaw on Monday. He assured the visiting dignitary that India will stand by Myanmar to develop as a modern nation. Modi also promised full support to Myanmar's internal peace process.
Excellency, your great nation has entered a new era, an era defined by maturity of your leadership and commitment of your people to democracy, and which is accompanied by clear vision and a strong desire of your leadership to make Myanmar a stable and economically prosperous country in the region. Let me assure you that at every step of the way, 1.25 billion people of India will stand by you, both as partners and as friends.
The two leaders resolved to deepen ties and actively cooperate to combat terrorism and insurgency in the region.
We recognize that our security interests are closely aligned, and we agreed on the need to remain sensitive to each other's strategic interests and concerns. To this end, President and I agreed to work together for the safety and security of our people and actively cooperate to combat the common challenges of terrorism and insurgent activity in our region.
Both sides also inked 4 MOUs to strengthen cooperation in the areas of connectivity, medicine and renewable energy. The Myanmarese president also assured Prime Minister Modi that his government wants strong relations with India.
We thank the government of India their support to our ongoing reform process and efforts towards achieving peace and national reconciliation. Our two countries have been cooperating within regional and multilateral frameworks such as the East Asia Summit, the BIMSTEC, PSIM, Economic Corridor and the United Nations. Once again, it has been a great pleasure for me to visit India at this juncture and exchange views with leaders of India to further develop our bilateral relations and cooperation in regional and international contexts.
Earlier, the Myanmarese president was accorded a ceremonial reception at the Rashtrapati Bhavan. This is his first overseas visit after assuming office. Tinjau took charge after Nobel laureate Aung San Suu Kyi's National League for Democracy came to power in March this year.
The strategic location of Myanmar is immensely important for India, and new Myanmar can learn a lot from democratic traditions of the country. It will be interesting to see that how cultural affiliations between the two countries are going to help in coming together. Akhilesh Suman for Rajya Sabha Television with camera person Prasanto in Delhi.
Now, after 51 days, Kashmir slowly limped back to normalcy today with the lifting of curfew in most parts of the valley. Meanwhile, an all-party delegation led by Home Minister Rajnath Singh is expected to visit Jammu and Kashmir next month to interact with various sections of people to find a long-term solution to the problem.
After 51 consecutive days of restrictions, a sight Kashmiris were waiting for. Life in the valley limped back to normal as curfew was lifted in most parts, barring 3 police station areas. As traffic returned to the roads, people too stepped out of their homes, albeit tentatively. On Sunday, in his radio program Man Ki Baat, Prime Minister Narendra Modi spoke about unity and love being the basic mantras for addressing the Kashmir problem. This came a day after he met Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister Mehbooba Mufti to discuss the issue.
कश्मीर की स्थिति के संबंध में देश के सभी राजनीतिक दलों ने मिलकर के एक स्वर से कश्मीर की बात रखी, दुनिया को भी संदेश दिया, अलगाववादी तत्वों को भी संदेश दिया। जो लोग इन छोटे-छोटे बालकों को आगे करके कश्मीर में अशांति पैदा करने का प्रयास कर रहे हैं, कभी न कभी उनको इन निर्दोष बालकों को भी जवाब देना पड़ेगा।
जिस चीज को मोदी जी ने शुरू किया लाहौर जाके, उसके बाद राजनाथ सिंह जी भी गए, तो पाकिस्तान को देर सवेर इस चीज की समझ आ जाएगी, इस चीज को रियलाइज करेंगे। जंगो जदल, एक दूसरे को बुरा भला कहना, उससे हमारे मसले हल नहीं होंगे।
An all-party delegation led by Home Minister Rajnath Singh is likely to visit Jammu and Kashmir on the 4th of September and is expected to interact with a cross-section of people. However, not all political parties support the steps taken by the BJP-PDP alliance.
पिछले 1.5 महीने से, बल्कि 1.5 महीने से भी ज्यादा से सब बिजनेस, तजारत सब ठप हैं, एजुकेशन इंस्टीट्यूशंस ठप हैं, जिसकी वजह से बहुत नुकसान उत्तर प्रदेश को हुआ, जम्मू कश्मीर को हुआ। मुझे पूरी उम्मीद है कि अब उसको कंपनसेट करने के लिए राज्य सरकार और केंद्रीय सरकार मिलकर कोई प्रयास करें।
कश्मीरियत, इंसानियत और जमहूरियत, वहाँ पे तीनों ही खतरे में। अटल जी के बताए रास्ते पर चलना है तो इन तीनों चीज़ों को वापस ला कर के वैली में शांति स्थापित होनी चाहिए। जिन्होंने जुल्म जातियाँ की हैं उनको कटघरे में खड़ा करना चाहिए, चाहे वो पत्थर फेंकवाने वाले हों या निहत्तों पर गोली चलाने वाले।
Although curfew has been lifted from most parts of the valley, police and security forces remain on high alert. Assembly of 10 or more people continues to be prohibited. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
After controversially suggesting that foreigners visiting India should avoid wearing skirts or going out alone at night, Union Minister Mahesh Sharma clarified today that he was referring only to religious places and that he spoke out of concern. Responding to questions on the government's steps for tourist safety in popular destinations like Agra, Sharma had on Sunday listed out some controversial do's and don'ts for visitors to India. These included telling women tourists not to wear skirts and refrain from going out alone at night in small towns. The Culture Minister received backlash from women's rights activists and various leaders across the country.
कहना और एडवाइजरी देना ये दो अलग है। सतर्क कहना किसी के लिए कोई गुनाह नहीं है। भारत सरकार का मंत्री होने के नाते मेरा ये धर्म फर्ज भी है कि हमारे विदेशियों की और खासतौर पर महिला पर्यटकों की और देशी पर्यटकों की उनकी सुरक्षा का भी हम लोग ध्यान रखें। उसके लिए समय समय पर विभिन्न देश भी अपनी एडवाइजरी जारी करते हैं, ये उसी का हिस्सा था। लेकिन मैंने किसी के पहनावे को, मैंने किसी को ये नहीं कहा कि आप क्या पहने।
Well, if Pandit Mahesh Sharma has his way, he will put every woman in a burqa. The Culture Minister of India at times comes out with the most uncultured remarks possible.
इस तरह का बयान आना टूरिज्म मिनिस्टर का कि आप स्कर्ट ना पहने, आप महिलाओं के कपड़ों पे कोई पाबंदी नहीं लगा सकते। और ख़ास करके जो फॉरेनर्स हैं उनका तो ड्रेस ही यही है। आप कैसे उनको क्या साड़ी पहनाएंगे? क्या उनको साड़ी पहना के गाँव में भेजेंगे?
All right, more news. The Supreme Court on Monday issued a notice to the Uttar Pradesh government and Samajwadi Party leader Azam Khan. The notice follows a petition by a minor who was allegedly gang raped along with her mother in Bulandshahr. The victims have sought an FIR against Azam Khan and the case to be transferred to New Delhi. Reacting to the incident, Azam Khan had allegedly accused opposition parties of conspiring to use the gang rape incident to defame the government. The apex court called Azam Khan's statements objectionable and insensitive and said that such statements by political leaders create a mistrust about the entire system. The incident took place when the family was travelling to Shahjahanpur to attend a relative's funeral. A gang of highway robbers sexually assaulted the woman and her daughter after dragging them out of the vehicle. On to West Bengal now, where the State Assembly on Monday passed a resolution to change the name of the state to Bengal in English and Hindi and Bangla in Bengali. A government resolution under Rule 169 was passed amid a walkout by the Left Front, the Congress and the BJP. As the opposition parties did not support the resolution, it was passed through a voice vote. The new names will require a constitution amendment to effect the change. Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee called the occasion historic and one that will be remembered in golden letters. In Bengali, the state is currently referred to as Poschim Bongo or Poschim Bangla.
কিন্তু মানুষ কিন্তু বাংলার নামটা অ্যাকসেপ্ট করে নিয়েছে। তার কারণ কেউ কিন্তু বলে না আমি বঙ্গ থেকে এসেছি, কোথায় জিজ্ঞেস করলো লোকের যেটা মানে লোকের মুখে মুখে যে ভাষাটা সেটা হচ্ছে আমি বাংলা থেকে এসেছি, বেঙ্গল থেকে এসেছি। এটা কিন্তু সাধারণ মানুষ ইতিমধ্যেই ইউজ করছেন অনেক দিন ধরে এবং করেও। তাদের সেই ব্যাপারটাকে গুরুত্ব দিয়ে আমরা আজকে এটা করলাম। আজকে আমার সবচেয়ে খারাপ লাগছে যেটা বারবার বলা সত্ত্বেও কংগ্রেস, সিপিএম, বিজেপি এমনকি বাংলার নামকরণটা নিয়েও তারা বিরোধিতা করেছে। এটা যদি বিরোধিতা করার জন্যই বিরোধিতা হয় তাহলে এটা খুবই দুর্ভাগ্যজনক এবং দুঃখজনক।
With a quick break here, we'll be back with more news in a bit. Stay with us.
Down the ages, jewellery has been the pride of the Indian culture. In the Harappan period, it attained perfection in flattened gold bands. From the modern period came the exquisite gold brooches. Many ornaments were an extension of religious practices, like the Gauri Shankaram Rudraksh necklace worn by the temple priest. Rings with lids preserved the taweez that held secret messages and sometimes even poison.
Welcome back. Let's get to some more news now. In a day after China, in fact, said that it would be forced to protect its interests in the economic corridor with Pakistan that's coming up in Balochistan, Baloch and Sindhi nationalist leaders jointly protested for the first time against the rights violations outside the Chinese embassy in London. Praising Prime Minister Narendra Modi for speaking up for Balochistan, they sought greater support for their cause from the world community.
UK-based Baloch and Sindhi residents holding demonstrations outside the Chinese embassy on Monday. They were protesting against a think tank's remarks that suggested that China could get involved militarily to set up its economic corridor with Pakistan in Balochistan.
बलोच और सिंधी कौम सी पैक नामी चाइना पाकिस्तानी इकोनॉमिक कॉरिडोर जो कि बलोच और सिंधी कौम के खिलाफ एक नई नस्लकुशी का तसलसल और बलोच कौम को अपने ही सरजमीन पर माइनॉरिटी में तब्दील करने का जो नया ड्रामा रचाया जा रहा है उसके खिलाफ
इसलिए आए हैं कि हम पाकिस्तान और चाइना को ये बताएं कि वो बलूचिस्तान में बग़ैर बलोचों की राय, बलोचों के सलाह, बलोचों के मर्ज़ी के बग़ैर कुछ भी नहीं कर सकते। ना वो इस किसी किस्म के प्रोजेक्ट, ना वो किसी किस्म के कॉरिडोर को मुमकिन बना सकते हैं जब तक बलोचों का रज़ा इसमें ना हो।
The protesters accused Pakistan of committing gross human rights violations to build the $46 billion corridor. The protests in London follow a similar demonstration in Leipzig, Germany last week. The protesters included groups from both Balochistan and Sindh.
हमारी धरती, हमारे वसाइल, हमारी जो कोस्टल लाइंस हैं और उन पे मुकम्मल कब्ज़े का प्रोजेक्ट है। ये हमें मुकम्मल तौर पे अपने मादरी वतन में अक़लियत में तब्दील करने का प्रोजेक्ट है।
जो पाकिस्तान और चाइना इकनॉमिक कॉरिडोर है, बलोच उसे किसी कीमत पर कबूल नहीं करेगा। बग़ैर बलोच के मंशा और बलोच के रज़ा के हम चाइना पाकिस्तान इकनॉमिक कॉरिडोर को कभी नहीं मानेंगे, चाहे इसके लिए हमें जितना बड़ा कीमत अदा करना हो।
The protesting group said they chose the Chinese embassy with the aim of raising wider international support for their cause.
They will under no circumstances permit the coming into being of this corridor, which will only benefit the Punjab province of Pakistan and in no way benefit the civilians or the local people whatsoever. And the other beneficiary would essentially be China.
The protesters waved placards reading "Hands off Balochistan" and "Balochistan Zindabad, Pakistan Murdabad" and shouted slogans in praise of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who raised the issue in his Independence Day speech earlier this month. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
The Zika virus, which has been linked to a rare birth defect, is spreading across Asian countries. In Singapore alone, 41 cases of locally transmitted Zika virus have been confirmed. The World Health Organization says that it was important for countries to remain vigilant, but did not know what the level of population immunity is to this lineage of Zika in Asia.
Singapore on Monday confirmed that 41 cases of the Zika virus were locally transmitted. Of these, 36 relate to foreign construction workers who lived or worked within the same region of the country. 34 people have fully recovered, while 7 are still in hospital. None of the patients were known to have travelled to Zika-affected areas recently. The authorities are monitoring places and said it expected more cases to be identified. All medical services in Singapore have been alerted to be extra vigilant.
I think it's pretty worrying because it just suddenly popped out of nowhere. We suddenly have 41 cases just out of the blue. So I think it's pretty alarming, and I think steps should be taken to actually find out how or why the sudden spread of the Zika virus.
Afraid because I've heard quite a lot about how harmful Zika virus is to girls, especially actually women, pregnant women. So I'm afraid that if this goes on, it might affect.
Malaysia has stepped up surveillance at the main transit points with Singapore handing out leaflets on Zika prevention. In Thailand, around 100 cases of Zika have been recorded across 10 provinces this year. The European Centre for Disease Prevention and Control website has cited Thailand as a red alert country. Vietnam has to date reported 3 cases of locally transmitted Zika infection. The United States reported 2,517 Zika cases through last week, 29 of which are likely acquired locally in Florida and the rest brought in by travelers. The Zika virus carried by mosquitoes was detected in Brazil last year and has since spread across the Americas. It poses a risk to pregnant women because it can cause severe birth defects. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And here are more international news updates in Global Buzz. US Secretary of State John Kerry arrived in Bangladesh today for a day-long visit. He met Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, opposition and civic leaders to discuss security cooperation after a series of killings by Islamist militants, as well as economic development and human rights. Kerry will visit India in the next leg of his tour. The Los Angeles airport police today said reports of gunfire in the vicinity were just loud noises. Earlier, in a series of tweets, they said that they were searching the airport and taking all precautions to ensure the public safety. The departure and arrival levels of the central terminal area were closed during the course of the investigation. Belgium's criminal forensics laboratory was set on fire by arsonists earlier today. No casualties were reported though. 5 people were detained in Brussels and are being questioned over the fire. The institute is linked to the Belgian Ministry of Justice and carries out forensic investigations in criminal cases. At least 60 people were killed and around 29 injured in a suicide car bombing at an army camp in Yemen's city of Aden. According to a report, the attacker drove his vehicle into a gathering of new recruits at the camp. The Islamic State has claimed responsibility for this attack. Islamic State also claiming responsibility for a suicide bombing that killed at least 15 people and injured 16 others at a wedding party near Shiite city of Karbala. 5 assailants, including the suicide bomber, attacked the party firing machine guns and throwing hand grenades. The bombing is the first in the Karbala region since Iraqi forces dislodged Islamic State militants from their stronghold in Fallujah, 80 kilometers north of the city. All right, shifting focus to sports news now. Olympic stars PV Sindhu, Sakshi Malik, Deepa Karmakar and shooter Jeetu Rai were today conferred the nation's highest sporting honour, the Rajiv Gandhi Khel Ratna, at the Gleaming Awards ceremony at the Rashtrapati Bhavan. It's for the first time in the history of the National Sports Awards that 4 athletes have been chosen for the honour. In 2009, 3 athletes, boxers Vijendra Singh and MC Mary Kom and wrestler Sushil Kumar were given this award together.
It was a celebration of woman power in sports as Olympic stars PV Sindhu, Sakshi Malik and Deepa Karmakar were conferred India's highest sporting honour, the Rajiv Gandhi Khel Ratna, along with shooter Jeetu Rai, at a gleaming awards ceremony at the Rashtrapati Bhavan. It was for the first time in the history of National Sports Awards that 4 athletes were chosen for the honour. Shuttler Sindhu won a historic silver in the women's singles at Olympics. Sakshi won India's first ever medal in women's wrestling, a bronze, while Deepa grabbed a piece of history for herself with a 4th place finish in artistic gymnastics.
It was a dream and it has come true, and I've not thought, but then I've done it. So I think Olympics is someone's dream. You know, it's a dream, so everybody's dream. So I've done it. I'm really very happy about it.
सबसे पहले तो सरकार को थैंक यू जो उन्होंने मुझे इतना ऑनर किया। सुविधाएं तो अभी बढ़ रही हैं, लगातार बढ़ती जा रही हैं और आगे अगर हम अच्छा करेंगे तो सुविधाएं और बढ़ती चली जाएंगी।
स्पोर्ट्स पर्सन के लिए बहुत बड़ा ऑनर है, तो मैं बहुत खुश हूँ जिन्होंने भी मुझे ये डिसाइड किया देने के लिए। थैंक यू सो मच। और नंदी सर को इस साल द्रोणाचार्य अवार्ड मिल रहा है, उसमें बहुत खुशी हो रही है कि मुझे और सर को एक साथ मिल रहा है। मैं बहुत खुश हूँ।
Shooter Jeetu Rai was also given the Khel Ratna for his consistent medal-winning performances in the last 2 years. Although Rai failed to win a medal at Rio, he won several medals in shooting competitions, including gold at the Asian and Commonwealth Games and a silver at the World Championships.
थैंक यू बोलना चाहता हूँ जिसने मुझे सपोर्ट किया है, और बहुत ही थैंक यू। और मैं और मेहनत इतना अच्छा मुझे अवार्ड देके मुझे बहुत ही हौसला मोटिवेशन कर रहा है, और मेहनत करूंगा और आगे बढ़ूंगा।
Besides the Khel Ratna, 15 sports persons were awarded the Arjuna Award. Long distance runner Lalita Babur, who finished a 10th in the 3000 meter steeplechase at the Rio Games. Boxer Shiva Thapa, only the 3rd Indian to win a World Championships medal last year. Hockey players V.R. Raghunath and Rani Rampal. Cricketer Ajinkya Rahane and teen javelin thrower Neeraj Chopra, the first Indian athlete to win a gold medal at the Under-20 World Championship, were among those who received the awards. This year's Dronacharya Award was conferred upon 6 coaches, the most notable among them being Deepa's coach Bishweshwar Nandi and India's Test team captain Virat Kohli's mentor Rajkumar Sharma. Others honoured with the Dronacharya Award were Nagapuri Ramesh for athletics, Sagar Mal Dhayal for boxing, Pradeep Kumar for swimming and Mahabir Singh for wrestling. The Khel Ratna awardees received a medal, certificate and cash prize of 7.5 lakh rupees each, while the Arjuna awardees received statuettes, certificates and award money of 5 lakh rupees each. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And our correspondent Panchanan Mishra spoke to Deepa Karmakar and her coach moments after they were felicitated at the Rashtrapati Bhavan. Both expressed confidence of winning a medal in the next Olympic Games. Listen in.
हमारे साथ है 2 बहुत ही खास मेहमान, दीपा कर्माकर जी और उनके कोच। दीपा, बहुत बधाई आपको सबसे पहले रियो में इतना बेहतर परफॉर्मेंस देने के लिए। आप ही बताएं, हालांकि मेडल से बहुत माइन्यूट अंतर से आप चुकी हैं, कैसा रहा परफॉर्मेंस आपका?
परफॉर्मेंस बहुत अच्छा था, मैं बहुत खुश हूँ परफॉर्मेंस से, पर हाँ शायद मेडल आता तो मैं ज़्यादा खुश हूँ।
सर, ये बताएं कि आपने दीपा को इस तरह से तैयार किया, जो जिम्नास्टिक्स जैसा जो क्षेत्र है जहाँ पर हमको कभी भी हमने इतना अच्छा परफॉर्म नहीं किया था, उसके पीछे क्या खास तैयारी थी?
देखिए इसका तो डेडिकेशन डिसिप्लिन डिटरमाइंड था वो इस चीज़ में, और हमें हेल्प मिला स्पोर्ट्स अथॉरिटी ऑफ इंडिया और मिनिस्टर ऑफ स्पोर्ट्स से। तो इन लोगों ने हेल्प किया, हमने मेहनत किया, इधर तक पहुंचा।
दीपा ये बताएं कि अब आपको क्या लगता है भारत का प्रॉस्पेक्ट क्या है जिम्नास्टिक्स में आगे आने वाले ओलंपिक्स को देते हुए, जापान को देखते हुए अब क्या तैयारियां बेहतर हो सकती हैं?
देखिए हमें अभी सिर्फ मेहनत करना है, हम पूरा मेहनत करेंगे, जैसे हमारी कोचेस बोलते हैं वैसे चलेंगे, शायद हमें और अच्छा रिजल्ट होगा।
सर अब एक बड़ी चीज़ ये पूछना चाहते हैं कि जिम्नास्टिक्स में अब आप क्या देखते हैं प्रॉस्पेक्ट भारत का?
बहुत अच्छा एक जुआर आया है और अच्छा होगा। हम ऐसा उम्मीद कर रहे हैं अगले ओलंपिक तक हमारा बॉयज़ और गर्ल्स का कम से कम 3 तो पार्टिसिपेशन करेंगे ही करेंगे।
तो दीपा आखिरी सवाल आपसे क्या है, माने कि अब जापान में हमारे लिए पदक आने वाला है जिम्नास्टिक्स?
पूरा कोशिश करेंगे वहाँ पे पोडियम पे खड़ा हो, इस बार छूटे वैसा ना छूटे। थैंक यू।
And here are more updates from the world of sports in Sports Beat. Sania Mirza and her Romanian teammate Monica Niculescu received a confidence booster ahead of the US Open as they won the doubles title at the Connecticut Open. The Indo-Romanian duo defeated Katerina Bondarenko of Ukraine and Chuang Chia-jung of Taiwan 7-5, 6-4. Barcelona made it 2 wins from their opening 2 La Liga games as Ivan Ratikic's first half header earned them victory at Athletic Bilbao. The Croatian scored the only goal of the game in the 21st minute. The win saw Barcelona join rivals Real Madrid and early leaders Las Palmas on 6 points after 2 games. Nico Rosberg closed the gap to 9 points in the Drivers' World Championship after winning a chaotic crash-hit Belgian Grand Prix. Rosberg, who started from the 3rd successive pole position, led from the start to finish to secure his first victory in Belgium and his 6th of the season. His Mercedes teammate Lewis Hamilton, who started from the 21st position, also finished on the podium, coming 3rd behind Red Bull's Daniel Ricciardo. Patrick Reed won his first tournament of the season at the Barclays to seal his spot on the USA Ryder Cup team. Overnight leader Ricky Fowler missed out on an automatic Ryder Cup place after carding a 3-over round of 74 on Sunday to finish joint 7th. And that's all we have for you on the news tonight from the entire team here. Good night.